My career has been up and down and up and down. I think a lot of people have that same sort of vibe. But the biggest challenge has been to learn to cope with it all.
This is Lauren Engel of Sidewalk Talk. Today I'm here with Audien.
What is up? How are you?
So requested.
Really?
Since I started Sidewalk, yeah.
No way.
They're like, when are you gonna get Audien? Yeah.
Yeah? That's awesome.
So originally born in, we call it Mystic?
Yeah, Mystic, Connecticut. Yeah, really tiny town. Just a bunch of just like trees and ocean and boats.
Oh wow.
Real exciting stuff over there.
Sounds so relaxing though. I like painted an image in my head just by describing.
It is relaxing, but it's just very like, you know, there's just nothing to really do. It's nice to like, if you're older and you want to kind of chill out and just be near the ocean, then yeah, that's your spot. But like, if you're in the dance music community, it's not very inspiring.
Yeah. So is all your family there?
Yeah.
Like growing, is your mom from Connecticut, or your parents from Connecticut?
Yep. Yeah, they still live there. Yep, my brother lives there. They all work for Pfizer mostly, most of them.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah. Doesn't your mom also do something with like music radio or?
She did. You know, years ago she worked for a like a radio station.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's what, you know, I was always super exposed to music and stuff through her. She always had like really complex like jazz music playing throughout the house growing up. She still does. I swear she listens to like the same 10 songs. Like, I swear to God, like every time I go back home, like it's the same 10 songs from like 5 years ago. But still.
Yeah.
Inspired me growing up, for sure.
And your dad, what did he listen to in the house?
He was more into like rock music. Like he was big into like Disturbed and like those kind of bands, like metal and stuff. So, you know, I had that kind of juxtaposition of the two genres growing up. My dad was super into Live, the band Live.
Oh, okay.
So he always had, you know, like literally a tape of Live in his truck, and like we used to just always listen to it. So.
Do you remember the first artist you were listening to, like way back?
Well, I know my first CD I ever got was Backstreet Boys.
Oh,
which
nice.
was, you know, amazing. And I got like a CD player.
The best of pop.
I don't remember asking for one. I think my mom just got it for me. And so maybe that's probably what sparked the initial interest in music for me.
Is your brother younger or older?
He's 4 years older than me.
Oh, so was he showing you music as well?
Yeah, I mean, we used to like we really discovered electronic music together through video games and stuff. We used to watch like video game movies and stuff, people like recording themselves playing, and like they would put electronic music to it.
Like which video games?
Like Counter-Strike.
Oh, okay.
And like World of Warcraft and all those old games, like back when I was in 9th grade in high school, and you know, that's kind of how I got like really immersed in it. I immediately started trying to produce it because me and my friends were like kind of really curious about how it was made. So we got Fruity Loops back in the day. We just, every weekend we would get together and just make crazy electronic music. Mostly like happy hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird place to start, but yeah, that's where we started.
And then that was when you were listening to Armin?
Yeah, I was really into Armin at that point, State of Trance and like his radio show. I would tune in every single Thursday at like whenever it was, 2 p.m. I'd come home from school, and then I'd get home, and it would start. And it would be like, I'd always listen. I'd always download them if I couldn't make it. So.
Was that really rare of you listening to EDM back then? Because this is what, like 2005 probably or something?
Just like 2008, 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2010-ish. So it was definitely pivotal, you know, like that. If I didn't do all that stuff, I wouldn't be here. Like, it was really what inspired me to like keep going. And, like, I was really into that stuff. So.
Were you also doing instruments?
No, in fact, I don't play any instruments. I don't play piano, I don't play guitar, I don't play anything. On the piano, like, I just find chords and stuff, but generally I just write melodies out with a mouse.
Yeah.
And if you have an ear for it, like, then you just know what a good melody sounds like. The thing is, like, I feel like a lot of people, like, they get into music theory and stuff.
Yeah.
And they get, like, really
too much
into the nitty-gritty of music theory. And, like, they forget that, like, you know, sometimes like a melody that doesn't make musical sense still sounds good, you should go with that, you know. But a lot of people just like stick to just the theory of everything.
Yeah.
Which is good too. Like I've played with so many, I've produced with so many like session players. People come into the studio and just start ripping like amazing chords in the piano, and then I'm immediately inspired, and I think to myself like, damn, I wish I could do that. But no, I just have my process, and that's it, you know.
Did you like school? Were you good at school?
No, I hated school. Yeah, I did really bad in school. I think I did 1 year of college, and I had like a 2.0 GPA the first year. But everyone kind of sucks the first year.
Well, did you have a major in mind?
No, and that's why, you
Undeclared.
know, I was like, during college, I was going home every weekend, and I hated it, and I was producing music every day. So I just realized, like, that's what I should be doing. Took a big risk kind of dropping out. My parents didn't love that. But, you know, that's when I met my first manager. His name is Hosh, and he kind of hooked me up with some remix opportunities, and I did the best I could on those, and they came out really good. And then I just kept cranking out original music too, because I had been already releasing music on smaller dance labels like Enhanced and not smaller, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like just like not enormous, not Capitol Records, because that came later. And it's just like it's always been like a consistent just flow of things. There was never any like big enormous jump of like, you know, one big smash breakout.
Yeah,
hit.
and that's actually what you prefer, right? You said that in previous interview that you like the steady, because it's more sustainable than if you had a huge hit and then to follow it up with something. Or
Yeah, and it keeps your emotions in check. Like imagine having a huge hit and then nothing. Having to follow that up is almost impossible. Very few artists have been able to do that, but you know, Martin Garrix's a good example. He was able to do that.
Yeah.
And he's enormous, but like it's really hard, and I don't think that's for me. I think I'm more of just like just make music that I love, and don't try to, you know, try to make hits. Just make music that I love. If something sticks, it sticks. One of my biggest songs, Pompeii remix, is like, I didn't expect that to do anything.
Is that the one that got the Grammy?
I didn't get it, but it was
the
nominated.
nomination.
It honestly, like, it was like, when I finished it, I wasn't really proud of it. I was like,
Really?
eh. Yeah, it's a little weird. Like, I tried some new things on it that I didn't normally do, and I thought it was like a little weird, and I felt like it was maybe a little too like minimal, but I mean, did well. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so, like, you know, it's just, I'm not trying to make hits. I'm just like trying to just make music that I love. If it works, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So you didn't really have a backup plan at all. That's why your parents were so nervous.
Yeah, no backup plan. So.
Did you? I mean, was it a certain level of confidence that you realized that you could do a career out of music if you really put your mind to it?
Yeah, I mean, you can do anything if you really put your mind to it. You just have to be really passionate about it and devote enough time to learning how to do it properly. You know, and it's really easy. I mean, you have so many resources today to do that. You know, you got the splice, and like everything's laid out for you now. So now it's less about can you make a good song. Now it's more about can you have a sound. And can you be recognized through that sound? I think that's the most important thing today in 2019, 2020.
And was it in college that you were going to these illegal warehouses in Providence?
Yes, how'd you know? That's amazing. Yeah, I was. Not in Providence. There was one I did. I didn't do it, but I DJ'd it for like a minute. It was in like somewhere in Connecticut. I don't remember. It was like some old office building. And like I had left because I like had played my little set, and then I was done. And I found out later that cops like came in and busted it. So I like got out of there before all that happened, which was kind of nice. I wonder what would have happened if I stayed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But you know, everything happens for a reason, right?
And then it was your friend who came up with Audien, right? Because you don't actually really like your name.
Yeah, I mean, I came up with it, but
Okay.
but you know, like my friends, like we didn't want to use our actual name.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like that was like not what you did back then. You came up with some alias.
Yeah.
And that's just what stuck. It doesn't really mean anything. But you know, now it does. I think I added meaning to a meaningless word.
Yeah.
So
were you just separate with your friends? Like you were never a duo or a trio with them? Because it sounds like you were like with them a lot.
I was, you know, like my friend Griffin, he's the one who like, we learned how to produce together,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
like that was, without him I wouldn't be here for sure, because together we learned like all the techniques and we just followed all the music.
Oh, so you went to the same school together, or?
He went to a different school,
Oh,
but we
okay.
lived in the same general area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he actually kind of like put music away. He went to college, and I went for the music. So, but you know, I'm sure he's still making stuff. I talk to him now and then. But obviously, life took us apart and stuff like that happens.
So, I mean, if you started listening to EDM in like 2018, then only like a few months or a year after your like Rise and Shine blew up. So that's like a pretty fast like turnaround. I mean, like since you started.
That was just my very first release ever, you know? Like that song, I don't even remember. I couldn't tell you what it sounds like today. It's just so much has happened since then. But like that was like my first actual release. That was my first like time ever being recognized for music. I was a big fan of Ferry Corsten, and so like back then I really wanted to have a song on his record label. It was called Aleph Recordings, and I just sent them a demo, and they ended up liking it, and then they signed it and released it. And that to me was like, it gave me the confidence to like continue. And then a lot of things happened since then that continued to give me more confidence and stuff. I think that's kind of how it works in most industries too, is like you know, say you're like a realtor, you sell a house, you get confidence, you get another one, you know? It's just like you just keep going. It's like, it's all about building, really.
Damn, this house is just, I just keep staring at it like the whole way.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
This one's amazing.
All of these actually.
The ivy on it and stuff. That one's nice. I'm a big house guy. I like house. I like house music and houses. So.
Right after you dropped out, were you working other jobs then to sustain yourself?
No, actually. The way it happened was kind of like almost perfect. You know, I had been making some money from those remixes that I got from through my ex-manager Hosh, and like that was enough, I guess, to like share a house with my brother. We ended up living together for a year, and then after that I started like touring a little bit.
Still in Connecticut?
Still in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And then I got my own little apartment. And then after that, moved to California. I did like the typical trajectory of anyone in entertainment, you know? Just end up in California somehow. And yeah, you know, it's just been steadily rising since then.
What was the turning point that you realized you wanted to focus more on originals? And was that difficult to like start being in a studio with vocalists?
Honestly, like I always wanted to make originals. Like remixes were just something for me to like make a little money, to like just sustain everything, but also just have something for my sets, you know? Like I wanted to have something like unique that people could hear in my sets that they recognize, but then is also blended with my own sound and stuff. But I always wanted to make originals, and I always did. It was something better that sort of like solidified me less as a remix artist and more, I think, as an original producer, you know? Something recognized more for my original music. So that I'm glad I did that song, because I didn't want to be just known as like Mr. Remix.
Yeah, and how did you like work with vocalists when you were still living in Connecticut? Oh, you already moved here when you started like doing sessions, or were you doing sessions back then? I actually never really did that many sessions at all. Oh, okay. The way my process works is like I'll speak with writers and stuff, like vocal writers and stuff. Yeah. And they'll send like vocal demos and just like mock-ups and stuff, and then I work off of those just on my own. I'm way better at producing alone. I don't know why. I think I'm just kind of like a hermit, but yeah, that's how I do it. I've done sessions, and you know, a lot of those sessions translated into songs, but you know, I'm not like in sessions all the time like most producers. And what made you decide to sign with Astralwerks in 2015?
You know, I really just wanted access to better songwriter relationships, and I wanted a good place to release music, a good team around it. And they were, you know. They helped me put together something better, which was like a very long process. I had the original instrumental for like a year, actually. And then, you know, when I met Peter Hanna, who wrote the lyrics, we like worked it out and became an amazing song. We had Lady Antebellum sing it, which was like so like unexpected.
So how did that happen?
You know, honestly, like the idea came from just a brainstorming session with my A&R at Capitol. His name's Jeremy, and you know, they were like really enthused about it. They really wanted to do it. Jeremy went out to Nashville to record the vocals and stuff. I was on the road. I was touring. Charles Kelly from Lady Antebellum said, "This is gonna be a big old hit," in that voice, and that like resonated amongst my team and everything. We laughed about that, and it, you know, became a big old hit. So it's super funny.
And how about with Echo Smith?
Yeah, so that's more recently. I always wanted to work with them. I really love their sound. I was a big fan of Cool Kids and like how like the melodies were so like melancholic and ethereal, and it was like a lot of synth work and stuff, so that's what caught my ear. But I mean, Favorite Sound was just like, I think, a perfect blend of like sort of synth, wavy EDM mixed with their usual sort of alternative pop rock sort of vibes. I thought it was a really interesting collaboration.
Yeah. What I find really interesting is that you're super into like rap and Drake and stuff, right?
Yeah, I like everything,
but,
you know?
But you haven't really thought to go that route, but more on kind of, I don't know if Lady and, that's more considered more rock, right?
It's all rock, yeah. Like Lady Antebellum is very country.
Yeah.
Echo Smith is like alternative rock. But, you know, I would definitely love to work with like a rapper that does more like the R&B stuff, like Black. Is it Six? It's
yeah. I think you say like Black.
Yeah, so he's amazing. I love his stuff. You know, people like Tory Lanez and like just like R&B style music where it's like more singy. I like that.
Have you tried though? Because you probably have like A&Rs who could easily set that up, or you just never really...
I mean, right now I'm doing everything independently.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't. We plan to, for sure.
Yeah, it'd be so cool.
Yeah, it's just about talking to the right people and just like meeting the right people in the space. So I definitely want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you decide to go more independent?
Just have more control over the music and stuff. I had like a specific way of how I wanted to release Escapism, the album, and so I'm glad I did. I did it all with STEM, which is like an amazing team, and they help distribute the music. And but yeah, like everything into Escapism and the tour is like provided by me and created by me. Like I designed it exactly how I wanted it.
What was the inspiration for the design?
Well, like Escapism as a concept really was like supposed to be like an escape from reality. So like the shows in the tour, it's a lot of like nature footage and it's a lot of like out in the world kind of vibes. Like all the visuals are just beautiful nature footage and stuff. And so I wanted people to feel like they can like get out of whatever you know, space they're usually in, whether it be in Chicago, they're in the city or something. They can be in like the Maldives, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's cool to me. I think that was cohesive with the concept that I wanted to create with the album and the tour. So.
How did it finally click to you to put out a debut album like 10 years after releasing music?
Yeah, I mean, like I wanted to do it years ago. Just got so busy touring and like I wanted it to be perfect. I had a lot of songs that just like didn't stand the test of time, and I ended up throwing a lot of them away. But all of these did, and you know, I tried and tested a lot of these for like years actually. So
like playing them out? Yeah,
like kind of sneaking them into sets. And so I realized it was ready, you know? 11 songs was enough for me. I kind of wanted more, but I also wanted to I wanted to put it out because I knew that if I kept it, I would have like swapped other songs out. It would never have been finished. Yeah. Just way too much of a perfectionist. So.
Do you think you had pressure from the management? Like it's time, it's 10 years that we should do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think you had pressure on yourself though? Like 10 years and like...
Yeah. I put a lot of pressure on myself to do it. But I just wanted it to be right. And, you know, I had to do a lot of things first to get it right. And it just, you know, it took its course, really. Glad it's out, though. Very glad. Yeah. Won't be the last. Be another one, for sure.
I hope it's not 10 years later.
No, it won't be 10 years later. Yeah. Got it all dialed in now.
What would you say have been the key inspirations for like any specific themes or stuff you're going through in your life?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of the songs were more like lyrically and stuff. It's kind of a mixed bag. Like it's a variety of different concepts and it's a variety of different emotions lyrically. I worked with a lot of great lyric writers on this album, so it has like different vibes from like so many different people. But I put it together in a way that was just very Audien, you know, and it all has the same sort of message throughout, which is just, it's very hopeful, it's very, you know, it's positive, and it's just emotional. That's really what it's all about. That's the thing, as a producer, you're working with so many different writers who have so many different ideas and experiences, but you're forming it into one cohesive box. And I think I did that pretty good on the album.
So. You've changed like genres a lot of times, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I wouldn't say I changed genres, I put out music that's not consistently the same exact genre, I guess, you know? Yeah. A lot of the music that I think I put out, it's kind of hard to put a genre on it. I'm not really sure, like, what some of it is, really.
Would you say that a lot of it is to, like, due to current trends, or how have you been true to yourself while being up to date with the trends?
You know, I really don't follow that many trends, to be honest, and that's kind of evident because I'm putting out progressive house music, which everyone thinks was like died in 2015.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time, and it's like I'm still putting it out and people are still loving it. I play it live and people adore it. It's just the best music, and like, so I don't really follow trends when I produce, but I definitely get inspired by current songs. You know, like I'll hear songs in a current time and I'll be like, oh, that's dope, and I'll put my own spin on things. Like I'll take inspiration from so many different places, like whether it be like classic rock and you know, something current, you know, RL grime or something, and it's like you just mix it into something that's unique. That's, I think, the best thing to do. If you just inspired by one person or one sound, like, you're just gonna emulate that.
Yeah.
But if you're inspired by so many different things, you're gonna create a mix of something new. It's like cooking, you know?
Yeah.
If you use the same ingredients, you're gonna make the same dish, but if you use different ingredients,
Yeah.
it's gonna be unique. If you ever go to like a super nice restaurant, they put out some weird stuff on the plate. It's like, it's always like different, like something you wouldn't expect, you know? It's like, that's what makes like really fun, makes it fun and unique and memorable.
For people who are watching or considering to move to like California or LA, but you lived a lot in like Dallas, do you really think it like makes such an impact that people think it does, or what kind of advice do you have for those?
Yeah, it doesn't really.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're planning on being in studio sessions all the time, which everyone ends up not doing that, then don't do it. You know, because it's just kind of a stigma, I think. For me personally, I didn't need to do it.
Yeah, you didn't
It's
really
beautiful
need
out
any
here.
like networking here or meeting people like through events or.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
You know, it's just about, the internet enables you to do all of that stuff. It's just about, you know, just being in your element and being in a place where you can be creative. That could be anywhere. Ultimately, it's just the quality of your music and the quality of your artistry is going to show in the amount of work you put into it. So, you know, if you have to fly out to LA for a meeting, just do it. But to live out here just because of that one meeting, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's so expensive, and there's so many people in LA, and it's just growing. So it's just like, you know, I think personally, like, I probably won't stay in LA forever. Probably be here for another couple of years, and then I'll be somewhere else. Typically, like, in true Nate fashion. So.
So before this interview, we were talking about real estate. People who are watching who want to get into it, do you have some tips for them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even in it because I don't have time to be in it. But I personally love real estate. I've been through a few houses already in my life. I've bought and sold like 3 homes in the past 6 years, and it's just like, I just love the idea of adding value to things. I love the idea of designing. I think interior design and music are so similar. You're filling a space, and you have a spectrum to work with, right? And it's like, for interior design, it's more about colors and fabrics and stuff like that. With music, it's about sounds and layers. It's just like, it's all too similar. And so like, I always love doing that. I'm like, I think some of the places I've improved and some of the places I've lived in have become like much better than they were when I bought them. So I think later in life I'll probably do something in that space, but I'm just way too focused on music right now, to be honest.
Wait, so what are your tips?
My tips? Well, do research. You know, don't just buy the first thing you see.
Yeah.
But I think a good tip would be to, you know, don't be too emotional about it. You know,
so
be
true.
a little more analytical. A lot of people, like, they buy houses and condos or apartments, and then they lose a bunch of money on it because they didn't like do enough research. So just do a bunch of research, be inspired. You know, it's such a personal thing. It's so like, it's hard to give tips on that. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
How would you say you've grown as a person compared to when you were younger?
I've grown a lot. You know, I've learned a lot. I've been through a lot in the past 6-7 years. So with that comes just experience. And once you know how to do things and how to, you know, navigate life, you don't unknow it. It's like you get better at it. And you know what to avoid, and you know who to surround yourself with. So, you know, I kind of had to learn the hard way in so many different arenas in my life. But I actually prefer that because then I'll know forever what not to do. or what I like,
Exactly.
or what inspires me.
What would you say have been the biggest challenges so far in your life?
Biggest challenges? Kind of just like, I think the biggest challenge for me has been to, because my career has been up and down and up and down. I think a lot of people have that same sort of vibe. But the biggest challenge has been to learn to cope with it all and to learn to stay like just normal.
Yeah.
To have a routine amongst all that. A lot of people fall into this dark hole where everything is just, it sucks. They get into drugs or, It's just like, I've been able to avoid all that because like, I've been able to sit back and sort of just rationalize everything that's happened. It's good to really look back at what you've done and not just like, just constantly go, 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 go. You're going to burn yourself out. So I guess to consolidate that, to not burn myself out has been the biggest challenge. But lately it's been a lot better. So
Yeah. What does love mean to you?
Love?
Yeah.
A lot of things. Music, for sure. That's one of the biggest and most powerful forms of love I've felt. I had a girlfriend for 5 years, and she was amazing. We're still great friends, but it's such a complex thing.
Yeah.
It's unique to you. It's different to everyone. But I think the general scheme is it's something that makes you feel good and happy and makes you feel alive. So.
Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for my melodies.
Oh, yeah.
My music, particularly the melodies, the emotions in the music. That's definitely all I want to be remembered for.
Yeah.
Is the music. So.
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is so much fun.
Bye.
See you later.